Alrighty. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Office Hours, where we get together every week and talk about all things Butterflies AI. Um, this week's episode, again, is probably going to be a bit short. Unfortunately, I don't really have too much of an update. I know that there have been a lot of issues with the image generation on the drawing and the semi-realistic model, but unfortunately, the developers have not quite figured out what is going on yet. They are actively working on them. Um, so you may see some ability to create like pokes or profile pictures from the drawing and semi-realistic models again. However, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's gonna just be another temporary issue with all of the bugs that we've been having over the past month. Um, you know, like yeah, no, the entire sentiment of pretty much everybody in Discord, Reddit, and everywhere else has been that things are going downhill. I hear you. I really hear you. And I wish I could say that, it's just um, XYZ, but everything is just a lot a bit more complicated than that. Everything's interconnected, so we fix one thing and a dozen other unrelated things break. I swear, every time. I'm not saying that it's like purposefully broken or anything like that, but that's what it feels like, doesn't it? So, yeah, like I've mentioned a few times, we're basically in that point where we're slowing down our metabolism, of course. Hang on. Where we're slowing down our metabolism and, building that chrysalis for us to metamorphose into something even better and greater. That was my blood sugar telling me that is extremely low. So, fun. Um, anyway, as for other things that should have been fixed, we should be able to have image recognition in chats again, as well as a few minor fixes to how NSFW is supposed to work. Um, Not really. They are just extremely minor fixes. Like, detecting that you're actually inputting NSFW into a part of a prompt type of a thing. Minor fixes. Let's see. What else? Those members who signed up via email should be able to change their email now. In fact, you all should be able to change your email even if you signed up with the Google sign-in. However, I would not recommend if you signed in with Google sign-in, Apple sign-in, or any of the other sign-in methods changing anything at this moment, as I do not know how that'll affect things. Um, But for those of you who signed up with your email address, you can now change that at will on your own profile. All you have to do is go to your account. So go to your your account in the bottom, the settings, and then edit profile. Nope, sorry. 1 second. I just did this the other day. It should be on edit profile. If you signed up with an email, it should be on edit profile. This one I did not sign up with an email with. All right. Yeah, It should be the first thing on edit profile if you signed up with an email address. If you did not sign up with an email address and are using Google Sign In, Apple Sign In, or one of the other sign in methods, you will not see this change. That's actually a good thing to confirm. Okay. Let's see. What else? What else? I'm not seeing really too many. There's just some minor fixes. Again, with the NSFW thing, right? Now when you have the blur NSFW option selected, you'll only be prompted once to confirm that you're 18. Users have noted that that's annoying to have to confirm every time, even though they have the blur selected so that it's not, immediately available while they're in public. So that's a actually decent change in my opinion as well. Yep, that's awesome to hear, Roscoe. That, I believe, was fixed just about around Friday. Let's see. I'm just looking through my notes here, trying to look at all that was fixed. Alright. That looks to be about it for the past week. I'm still exploring the issues with stories. It appears that stories continue to be ongoing still, over a year later since that bug was reported. And for that, I sincerely apologize on behalf of the moderation team and the development team. That stories feature has honestly not been a large priority since it was created, and I don't know why. At the end of a story, you should see an extend story option, which looks like this. However, not all of the stories that have been generated have gotten this at the last page. So instead, they are just continually ongoing, adding now the new pokes into them before adding just every post into them. With some bots, that ends up working out well. With the majority of them, I don't think it does. Yep, some don't even get that last and are just stuck on 3 to 4 images forever. Yep, Darvel, the story's just... This is the song that never ends. I mean, hey, sometimes that's a good thing, though. Like, again, I'm just thinking of use cases where that could be a good thing, right? Think about a bot that's advertising a fake product, like a robot companion or something, Then it would be fun to have all of those posts be in just one quickly accessible wheel, right? Or like a news butterfly. That's the next thing that I was going to test, Ethereal. I was hoping that I would see this screen so much because, again, the unreliability of seeing this combined with the, what does it do type of questions really need to be answered, and that needs to be solved. I sincerely apologize about all of the crying and screaming that you're hearing in the background. All of my nieces and nephews have decided that today is war. All right, so let's see. Other than that, um, for everybody here, have we used the search page before? As I'm wondering how much you are seeing like NSFW posts from butterflies. As that is something that I've seen cropping up a lot more recently. Let's see. Right, when searching, like actively typing into the search bar, you don't. But when you go to the search page itself, I have been seeing a lot of them crop up more recently. And that is not an expected behavior as far as I am aware. Like, especially if you have, you know, NSFW content blurred. You should not be seeing these inside of search. Yes, the search page is a collection of recent posts. For those who weren't aware, when you do click on the magnification glass icon, that is the search page. No, these are not blurred with the tag on. The screenshots that I've shared in focus group, I have my NSFW settings to blur things. So there is some sort of issue going on. Not to mention, I will admit, the content of itself, there's no nudity on the search page, but there is definitely NSFW on the search page. No, the images that are in the search page don't have the proper hide show if they're NSFW, which is another issue that we have been working on in the background. So if you've come across any NSFW posts that are marked improperly, that, you know, don't have that hide show if you enable it, please report them so we can mark them properly. We are basically like doing our best to teach an auto moderator to recognize this content as far as I'm aware. And sometimes it feels like it takes just a step backwards, I swear. Other times it's down to how people are prompting things. New prompts get new results, and those are just not anywhere in the auto moderation. There is something broken with being able to hide posts from your feed. The posts that you're selecting to hide don't always disappear. It's odd, honestly, as this is a behavior I've only noticed in the past couple of weeks, though others have noticed it over a few months. Let's see, what else? There has been an issue where some butterflies are making an image from other butterflies. I did report that last week as well in office hours. I have not heard an update about that yet. Right. Yeah, there's a lot of fan service on butterflies for all ages, frankly. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's just trying to make sure that, you know, the people who want to see that content, and the people that don't want to see that content don't see that content. And that's kind of where we're at the moment with the search page, is it's not doing that job properly. It often does seem to crash. Yeah. I was literally searching for one of our members, Kingslayer's bot, earlier, and it didn't, like, I had to search for it 3 times, and I finally ended up having to, like, capitalize the username to find it. It was weird. So, yeah, there's a lot of slowness in search queries on the website at the moment. I'm honestly not sure how well the app is holding up. I don't have an iOS device, so I don't know there. Right. An advanced settings option for NSFW would be great. Like, think filters and like filtering not only for NSFW, but just like the categories that we have on mobile, right? Because on desktop web, there are not categories on the search page. On mobile web, however, there are categories on the search page. Weird. Yeah. Because I only see those on mobile web. I don't see them on desktop web. They crash as soon as you get one. Yeah. Yeah, that's not meant to happen that way. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. I wish I did know what was going on with that. That's just, I don't know. That does not seem right. Another thing that I just noticed when I went to the mobile search page is that all of the images have like counters, and most of the images that I'm seeing have 0 likes. That's fun. So for the search page, I don't think that there is meant to be a caption. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. Alright, I'm going to make sure that all of these issues that you guys have shared this session get reported in. Mostly it appears pokes are working, but and I'm hesitant to say that because every time I've said that over the past, I don't know, 20-ish days, they break about 2 hours later. So officially I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna keep my fingers crossed. Is there anything else that we would like to cover? No, there's unfortunately no updates on video yet. With image gen here being broken, that's been the largest priority at the moment, you know, getting the image gen broken and all of that fun stuff. As for quality of video, I would think it's really, really good. Like, personally at least. I don't know. Here's an example of an anime styled one. Meanwhile, here is an example of a realistic styled one. The way that I am producing these, right, is I am literally prompting the naked models. So they are not going to have the same context or even size as what gets generated by butterflies, right? And I'm basically... Neither one of these contain nudity. So, yeah, no, I'm basically just telling the model what to generate using a character prompt from butterflies, right? So that's produced these types of things. I did add in, you know, for the second one, I added in transformation and used a second image on the other side to get it to transform between the first frame and the last frame. So there's a lot that can be done with video generation, right? And it's honestly a lot more advanced than image generation. Background effects. I have not personally prompted for background things yet, but I'm sure it's possible. Again, so that's another thing. That really all depends on the model, okay? For proper movement, like, it really depends on the model. It depends on what the model had for training, if it had training on even what, you know, you're telling it to do. A lot of these models are kind of very generalized, and the anime model that's being developed at the moment, like, it's, to my knowledge, the first of its kind at where it's at the moment. So it's like, yeah, it can be difficult to prompt movement. I'm not sure how super pokes will even work. I really am not. I would like to see them to be basically, you know, text to video prompt, but I don't know. I don't know how they'll work. I've not heard anything from it other than, you know, before the issues with image gen started, it was a couple of weeks away. What we know about Super Pokes is that it's going to be a video generation tool limited to 5 per day for premium members. That's it. That's all we know, and that's basically what was promised, right? Um, Before the issues with image generation started, it should have been, released a couple of weeks into June, to my knowledge. No, it doesn't tell what models that would be available to use. I would assume that it would select a model based off of your styling for your butterfly, right? If you have a realistic butterfly, it would select a realistic model. If you have a drawing or anime butterfly, it would select an anime model. Semi-realistic would also, again, do the same thing. But at the moment, it's basically being worked on in the background, and the developers are focusing their time fixing all of the bugs that have cropped up over the past month. Alright, unfortunately I am going to have to get going pretty soon here, so just a quick recap about what we went over. We had some bugs fixed with NSFW on the back end, like being able to actually properly detect NSFW on creation, as well as like being able to only have to click the I'm 18 once if you have the toggle hide NSFW on. There has been a update that allows people who signed up with their email to change their email. You can access that from editing your profile on Butterflies. At the moment, there is no confirmation, so please, if you are changing your email, make sure that you've entered it properly. Let's see, what else? Images in chat should be able to be seen again by Butterflies, so if you send your butterfly an image, they should respond and add that image's data into context. Through a little bit of testing, it appears that Butterflies are also able to see the first frame of animated images. So you should be able to test, or you should be able to send a animated image in there as well. Other than that, we're still working on image gen. Realistic image gen should be working again. Most recently, drawing and semi-realistics should be having pokes and profile pictures able to be generated, and the developers will figure out how to fix the butterflies that are stuck on soon. And yeah, it does seem like realistic has it the easiest, and I feel like that's due to not having to have extra prompting to get a style out of it, right? Because for the semi-realistic and the realistic models, drawing models, it feels like it is basically using a model that not only has some pre-prompting to get it more towards semi-realistic or drawing, but it also feels like it has some pre-prompting before an image is created on the website. Just again to align it with that semi-realistic or drawing model. And I feel like somewhere in there's some issues being caused. But that's just an uneducated guess, right? I am not actively developing the platform, I'm just a moderator. It would be nice if 4K and the like weren't pre-prompted in. I don't know what effects those actually have if we remove them. Like, there's not a whole lot I can do there. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so very much for coming and joining us in office hours today. If you're watching us on YouTube, please don't forget to give us a like and subscribe. It really helps. And I will see you guys next week.